Hey, it's Kevin. Welcome back to the Road Warrior. Forgive the sun right now, and I always focus on the sun. Kind of point in time when I really want to have tinted windows so I don't have to deal with all these sun issues. I've not figured out the way to do these at night before, where I don't have to deal with the sun. But right now, it's always different in the winter, because I always shoot them about the same time of day, and it's always different in the winter when you're dealing with the sun in a different place in the sky. Drives me crazy. Some of the things I worry about at night when I can't control the sun. Ooh, kind of a nice fitting way to segue into what we were going to talk about today. I didn't even think about that. And it's talking about about age, about rotations of the sun in theory. You know, I'm coming up on milestone birthday this year. I don't share the number because I don't like the number. It's ugly. But at the same time, when you say what the number is, it automatically puts, and it's not 65, by the way. Stop thinking that. But it automatically puts thoughts into people's minds when you tell them how old you are. For years, from the time my father was in his 40s and I was still a teenager, my father would tell me he never felt as old as he was. I didn't care if he was 42. I didn't care if he was 52. My father doesn't say it as much now that he's in his 80s. But I finally get kind of where my father thinks about that age as a number, where you don't feel as old as the number is on your calendar. And I wrestle with that because while I don't necessarily look my age, people tell me, sometimes I don't act my age, for both good and bad. It's weird to see people when you see somebody who's done something and they're a similar age, or they're younger than you, and you go, wow, I would have never thought that, I would have never guessed that. As we get older, it's not the same where the difference between a 10-year-old and a 20-year-old is night and day. But the difference between sometimes a 50-year-old and a 60-year-old is not that different. Again, it depends on the person. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's just the reality. It's just the way it is. But I look at numbers differently now that I'm getting up there in years. Now that I'm a mature adult. Now that I'm getting closer to what they consider to be the retirement age, even though I'm not there yet, thank goodness. But it's still something I think about, and I think about it often. Because numbers determine how we think of somebody. It's almost like we have to see how old they are before we determine whether we will accept what they say as truth or not. The "okay boomer" cry of now a year or two ago amused me and interested me for many reasons. I'm technically a baby boomer, although I do fall into the late end of the baby boom. And what's funny is, depending on where you fall, where people call the baby boom generation, in theory, people who were born 15, 20 years earlier than me are baby boomers, because it's all about being post-World War II, as am I, like 1963, 64, 65, wherever you want to call the end of the baby boom. My wife is technically not a baby boomer, but I am. And I don't mind being a baby boomer, but I've never identified with baby boomers. I remember when they talked about Motown music being the music of the baby boom. I've never liked Motown music. I don't mind it. I like particular songs, but the genre of Motown, other than owning some album that's got 100 Motown classics on it that I've got in my iPod library somewhere that I never listen to, I wouldn't pick 4 or 5 records in a year that are Motown that I would care to listen to. Now, that's not good, that's not bad, that's just the reality. That's just what impacts me. But yet I'm part of the same generation of people who love Motown music. Okay, it's not right, it's not wrong. It's all about that number. It's all about getting older. It's all about how you view things. Call me baby boomer, I don't care. But every time I take an online poll, it tells me I'm not. It tells me I'm a Generation X or a millennial sometimes. And it's all just BS anyway. I know that. I'm sorry, I'm feeling it today. I'm feeling that stress? What do you call it? I don't even know what you call it. Back next week, another Road Warrior, kevinmason.us, home to all the Road Warrior videos. Man, I've been running long a lot lately. I've been windy. I'm sorry. Find us on Facebook. Find us on YouTube. I'll shut up. I'll go away. I'll see you next week. Thanks.